Welcome back to the Bryan Devore Connection. I'm your host, Bryan Devore. I'm going to give you an interesting stat. Currently, in the United States, there are 3 million members of the LGBT community over the age of 50. By 2030, which is only 5.5 years from now, there will be over 7 million. That's over double the amount there are now. And when we talk about seniors, they require a lot of care. Well, the LGBT community needs care as well in maybe a different way. So here to talk about that is my friend Sarah Nudel, and she is with Windward Life Care. Sarah, thank you for coming today.
Great to see you, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, my pleasure. So let's first talk about Windward Life Care. I've worked with Windward for several years. It's a wonderful company. First, let's talk about what Windward does, and then we'll kind of dive into the work you do with the LGBT community.
Great, yes. So Windward, we provide caregiving and care management services for primarily older adults, but also some younger adults that may need additional assistance and support. And we have care managers that are advocates. They're kind of our clients and family members. They provide guidance, support, advocacy as they navigate their aging journey. And they work not only with the clients, but with family members or anybody else involved that's supporting that individual so that they can have as smooth of a journey as possible, and often the goal to age at home. That's often a big focus of the individuals we work with, if possible, if they can stay at home as long as possible. So that's something that we help them with, and often with that comes caregiving. And our caregivers go to the home, help our clients with whatever they need. Can be going on outings, companionship, to helping them with some of their basic needs, cooking meals, showering, whatever it may be. So we really want to meet the client where they're at and support them with their journey to make it as smooth as possible, and help the families involved as well.
Great. So you sort of, it's kind of like a three-legged stool. You have home care, you have home health as well.
Yes.
And then you also have the care management, which is sort of the umbrella. And especially it's great when people don't have family or the family's not nearby to have boots on the ground who are helping folks.
Right, exactly. And having that kind of, we call like that cheerleader, that person right there next to the client, in the hospital with them, at the home with them, wherever they may be, to make sure that nothing gets missed. And it gives family members or loved ones a lot of peace of mind to make sure that their loved ones' needs are met.
Great. And you have a person-centered approach. So I wanted to just quickly kind of touch on that. What does that mean?
Yes. So a person-centered approach, meaning we want to meet that client's goals. We want to make sure that their needs are being met. Each individual is different. Each individual has different goals. And so we really want to know what their needs are. And each person's journey that got them to where they're at in that moment has been different. So we want to learn about the person as a whole, not just their dementia diagnosis, not just that they have this impairment, but the whole person that they are that makes them who they are, and utilize that in our approach in working with them. And we provide that information to our caregivers so that they can best support them as well.
Got it. Yeah, it's fantastic. Like I said, I've loved working with your company. Now let's kind of talk about the LGBT community. And as we were filming this, it happens to be Pride Month, so it's very good timing that we're doing this. But let's talk about how you work with that community specifically. What's different about working with seniors who are part of that community versus not?
Yeah, great question. And a lot is the same in the sense that we're going to be client-centered, focused on their needs, and making sure that we're meeting their goals. But what can be different is often, I talked a lot about family and family supports. Often with the LGBT community, the family system and structure looks a little different. And often we see they're more isolated in the aging journey. And so we need to make sure that they have supports in place. And that's where our caregivers can come in and our advocacy can come in, because often it can be maybe an LGBT couple and they don't have anybody else being their cheerleader and helping guide them. Our team goes through SAGE certification.
It's kind of a crazy acronym we
talked
about earlier.
Exactly. Yeah, SAGE certification, which stands for Services and Advocacy for the GLBT Elders. And we go through a training each year, our entire team from the top down, all of our caregivers, our care managers, management, and we go through this training, which ensures our competency and understanding and working with this community to make sure that we're up to date on everything that's going on to make sure that we can successfully meet their needs and have that competency. And also a lot of individuals in the community knowing that we have that knowledge helps them feel more comfortable working with us. Because unfortunately, a lot of LGBT community members have dealt with a lot of discrimination, a lot of discomfort in their journey getting to where they're at, and a lot of them are nervous to even share their identity because of some of the discrimination they've experienced throughout their lives. So we do not want to perpetuate that at all and want to make sure that they feel accepted, supported, and that we can meet their needs just like we can meet anybody else's.
Yeah. You had sent some information about SAGE, provided by SAGE. Lots of great resources that you sent. We'll talk about that in just a second, but some alarming statistics. And we mentioned one of them with the 3 million turning into 7 million.
Yes.
The staggering number of members of that community who, as they age, become dependent on alcohol, are feeling isolated and alone because they have no one else to turn to, because there are perhaps no children or other family members involved, and it's just them. The heightened level of care they have to provide, it's overwhelming for them. And so there has to be resources available, such as a company like yours, and then other resources that SAGE provides. When we talk about home care, housing, there's a lot of great resources, which we'll post some links when we post this video, that people can access. But I'm sure your team has access to these resources that they can use to help.
Right, exactly, and I think that access is so helpful, and also just our understanding and direct linkage to it. A lot of family members don't even know where to start. Let's say their loved one is dealing with a dementia diagnosis and they don't even know where to begin, and initially they may think, well, I have to do it all. And doing it all is often very unrealistic and can take a negative impact on that their partnership as well. And so we want to be able to come in and provide that support and linkage and make it smoother for that partnership so that they can focus on that and we can deal with all the other stuff. And we've seen a lot of individuals in the LGBT community nervous to even share about their identity, nervous to potentially look at going to an assisted living community due to discrimination. And so we can share places that we worked with before that we know will meet their needs, and it won't perpetuate any of that negative stigma. And so we can help guide them and support them to help make those decisions, which could be potentially really scary, and provide them that comfort and support. And SAGE is such a great resource access that we can have as well through that process.
For sure. Yeah, I remember when we were talking the other day, members of the community who are out in their community, but when it's time to go to assisted living, they're afraid of discrimination. They go back in the closet, which is horrible. You know, you change your whole identity in your later years when you need that community more, because people who are socially isolated, it's like smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and that's harmful for their health. So you have the senior themselves, the caregiver, you know, their loved one who's helping, feeling isolated because no one else is around to help. So to have a company like yours that understands it and gets it, and I like how you mentioned from top down, everybody in the organization is trained, knows it, and can provide that care.
Right, exactly, yeah. And we've also seen with, you know, a big thing that our care managers do is go to doctor's appointments and advocate for our clients, and often individuals in this community won't even share with their doctor about their self-identity due to that fear. And so we, you know, are very connected with doctors in the community, know who will be accepting and understanding, and just help them feel supported along the journey. And our caregivers involved as well can help with that as well.
That's fantastic. So the information for Windward Life Care is on screen right now. If you're watching on the video, if you're listening as a podcast, of course, you can't see that, but the information's in the caption. But the information for Windward Life Care is there. We'll also have information on accessing the SAGE resources and so forth. Lots of great information. Again, lots of great resources. This is just sort of the tip of the iceberg, but I wanted you to come in, Sarah, and talk about the work that you do, and then generally speaking, what is available for the members of this community. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your time. I'm glad that we got to talk about this.
For sure.
It's
Thank
such
you.
an important topic.